Hey guys, it's Sara
Hey,
Ella,
I'm
and
Trina.
sorry, this is my first live show, so forgive me, or hosting my first live show, so forgive me if I'm a little awkward at first. I'm still figuring out how to use the whole live show thing. First I want to say thank you to everybody who is viewing this. I'm just excited to share the cover of Unblemished with you guys. I'm really thrilled for all of the support that you guys have given me throughout my writing journey. We are having technical difficulties right now. I tried to use screen share before we went live, and it is crashing my Chrome. It's crashing my internet browser to use screen share. So at the end of the show, when I do finally reveal the cover for Unblemished, if Trina is not able to screen share it, I'm going to use my iPod and show you guys the cover that way, and then I will post it directly to Twitter. My Twitter is @SaraEllaWrites, and then you guys will all be able to view it that way. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties that I'm having. So I want to thank Trina for being here because she's awesome. Thank you, Trina.
You're
And
welcome.
and then I want to thank my friend Kristen, who will be moderating the giveaway, which I will get to in a minute. Kristen's blog is kristencrum.com, and her Twitter handle is @KristenCrum. If you guys want to check her out, she is one of my critique partners, and she is amazing. And then Trina's channel is Between Chapters, and her Twitter handle is @BTWNChapters. So now I'm going to ask Trina to introduce herself.
Well, hi. As you've already could tell, my name is Trina, and I am from the channel Between Chapters. I talk about books, and I give book reviews and book recommendations. And I'm currently reading Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, and it's really good. Everyone is buzzing about it, and it's deserving that hype. But Sara Ella is a good booktube friend of mine, and I'm really excited for her book release, and I'm really excited to be here helping with it. I'm just here to kind of watch what questions come in and keep track and keep the conversation going. But I'm really excited, and I hope you guys will love the cover.
Yay! Thank you so much, Trina. Trina has become such a good friend to me, and we chat all the time, and so I'm excited for her to be here. So the giveaway, how the giveaway is going to work. If you are a viewer and participating, you can be entered for the giveaway. And I just found out from my amazing marketing person, Sam, that I'm not just giving away one limited edition poster that will be signed of the cover of Unblemished. I get to give away 5 posters. So I am just so excited that there's more chances for people to win. All of the winners will be chosen randomly. Like I said, my critique partner, Kristen, is behind the scenes. She's moderating and watching everybody who's going to be entering the giveaway, and so she will be doing all of that randomly. There will be a random winner for each challenge. We're going to have 3 challenges, and then there will be 2 more random winners, and all winners will be announced at the end. So in order to participate in these challenges, you need to be using the hashtag unblemished cover. That's spelled exactly like it sounds, UNBLEMISHED cover, and tweet it to me @SaraEllaWrites. Kristen's going to be watching everybody's tweets and posts, so make sure you're using the hashtag unblemished cover. And I'm really sorry, guys, this giveaway is open to the residents of the US only. It's just something that a rule that my publisher had put out, and so if you are not a resident of the US, I still hope that you will continue watching and participate for the cover reveal at the end of the show. And I do want to thank my amazing team over at Thomas Nelson, everybody who's helped me put this together. So you can also be asking questions that will be submitted throughout the show. Lots of people have asked questions already and submitted them to me, and Trina will be going through those questions during the show. You can ask more questions by tweeting to me @SaraEllaWrites. And any questions that are not answered during the show, I will be doing in a a Q&A video on my channel, Sara Ella. So let's get right into the first challenge. So the first challenge, music has been a huge inspiration to me in my writing, and the main character of Unblemished has a strong connection to music. I would love for you to tweet about a song or musician who inspires you to Sara Ella Writes using the hashtag UnblemishedCover. Tweet, and we will be discussing everybody's musical inspirations here in a minute. But I'm going to turn it over to Trina, and she is going to ask me some questions.
I think viewers, if you want to ask a question like via YouTube, if you're watching, you can ask on Twitter using that hashtag. But if you want to ask in YouTube, I think that there's a little pop-up thing down at the bottom of your screen that you have to click to join the Q&A. And that way we can see your questions, because I can't see your questions live, but I will be keeping an eye on Twitter also. But I want to get it kind of just the ball rolling with asking Sara Ella some questions that I have about your book. Well, first off, I do want to know, what are you currently reading?
What am I not currently reading?
You read a lot of books at the same time.
Well, I've had a problem lately where I will start reading a book and then I get distracted and I pick up another book. So, and this isn't because the book's not good, it's because my brain is somewhere else and there's so much going on with writing. But currently I am working on trying to finish The Fifth Wave, which I'm still only halfway through, and then Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I'm about 100 pages into this one, and I really, really am enjoying it. And then also Just One Day by Gail Forman, which is one of Trina's favorite books.
I love that book.
And that's just a few. I have a few others going too.
You don't have as much time to read and finish books anymore because you're so busy with writing, but that is totally okay. About your book, how long have you been working on this story? Like, when did you first sit down and start putting words on paper or on a file on your computer and say, I want to write this?
Oh, holy goodness. Let's see, probably back in 2008. I really started to kind of get ideas. I got the first name for one of my characters, Makai, and he became just kind of, and he's not even a huge role, but that name, I just loved Makai, and so I wrote down his name, and my husband really supported me. He paid for me to take a writing course online, and I was babysitting at the time, trying to bring in a little bit of extra cash, and so I would just sit while the kids were napping and type stuff away, and it really developed until 2014 that the current story that is Unblemished really started to become what it is now. And even though it's still very different from what it was in 2014, that's really when kind of I got the fire and motivation to do it. And that's thanks to my critique partners at the time, and who have been my critique partners and my friends for the last several years. That's my friends Kristen and Nisa, and they really have supported me. And now, of course, I have more critique partners. I have Becky and a few others. So yeah, so it's been a long, long time coming, I guess.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question? I think I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, you did. I said, how long have you been writing this story? And you said you started in 2008. So it's been a while, and it's probably great to see it pay off.
It really, really, really is. I'm so excited for everybody to read it.
I think you've answered this next question in one of your Past the Pages, one of those videos, but how many books are you planning to be in this series? Okay,
so there's 3 books in the Unblemished series, and the other 2 books don't have titles yet. That's just something that the team has to work on and decide on what's best for marketing. There will be 3 books. I did originally have some ideas for novellas in between those, but I'm not doing the novellas now. But a lot of the stuff that was going to be in the novellas, that all that backstory and history and stuff will be in the actual books. So I'm really excited about that.
And you sold it as a trilogy?
Yes, I did. I sold it as a trilogy. Originally, the first one was written so it could possibly end just like that as a standalone, but they wanted the trilogy, so I changed the ending a little bit.
Great. I feel like a lot of debut authors only get the deal for one book, and then if it does well, they might pick up more books in a series. But I think that's really cool that you sold all of them up front. That's awesome.
Thank you.
They have a lot of faith in you, or it must be a really good story, and whoever read over that one at first was like, I gotta know more.
Well, they definitely have been super encouraging. I really love my team. Everybody's been so supportive and understanding of me being a new person and having no idea what I'm doing, even though I pretend I know what I'm doing. So I really have been just blown away by their support and excitement about the series.
My last question about your book is it a single point of view, or are there multiple points of view from different characters?
It is single. The first book is single point of view. Yeah, the first book is single point of view. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. I was just wondering. I've got a question over here in the Q&A that kind of goes along with one of those we just talked about, and it's from Abby over at Abby Reads, and she said, "More books. Is there a loose timeline for when you'll be writing those books?"
Okay, so the first book comes out on October 11th, 2016, and I believe that they are, oh gosh, I should have asked my editor this. I think they're 9 months apart, or they release a year apart. So within a year after Unblemished is published, then the second book and then the third book. I think they do every 9 months to a year. They release the next book in a series, and that's the timeline they're on. Thank you, Abby. Oh, I love Abby. Oh wait, though, was that question from Hope?
No, that's a different question.
Okay, I can't tell the way that it's formatted over here. I see Abby's name and I see Hope's name. So whoever asked that question, thank you.
Do you want to go ahead and take more of the questions that are popping up over here, or do you want to check in with the challenge?
Let's check in with the challenge. We have about 5 minutes until I'm going to do the next challenge. And so if you're just tuning in, the challenge was to tweet about a musician or music that inspires you, and to use the hashtag UnblemishedCover. So I'm going to go ahead and check out on Twitter who is using the hashtag and what some of your guys' favorite musicians and music is. Something that inspires me in my writing. I absolutely love the song The Words by Christina Perri. And if you haven't seen the music video for that, Killian from Once Upon a Time is in it. And I didn't even know that when I first started listening to that song. And then, of course, the score for Once Upon a Time is something that inspires me too. Trina, do you have any music or musicians that inspire you?
Well, I don't write, so I don't have any music that inspires me with writing. And honestly, I'm not really a music person. Like, people fangirl or fan over music and musicians all the time, and I've just never felt that. I usually, if I want to listen to music, I'll just like turn on the radio to whatever trashy pop hits station, and I just don't have refined taste in music. I never have. I'm not musically inclined at all, so I don't have anything specifically. It's just usually like whatever mood I'm in. Sometimes I'm going through something and I'll hear a song and I'll be like, whoa, I completely relate with that. But I don't know how to answer that question, really. I'm sorry, I'm the worst person to ask. But we've got a lot on Twitter.
I remember you saying Fight Song a while back was a song that you really loved.
Yeah. I did.
So we have lots of tweets from all of these wonderful people, and so it looks like, oh, my mentor Nancy Kimball tweeted. She if you guys don't know, and you'll find out if you read the acknowledgments of my book, Nancy Kimball is like my Obi-Wan. She took me when I was just raw and brand new, and she gave me lots of red ink, and she wasn't afraid to tell me what I needed to fix. And Nancy says, music that inspires me is Two Steps from Hell, the band Red, and lately Adele. Yay for randomness, she says. And let's see who. Ooh, Hope Ortego says an inspirational song to me is "Oceans" by Hillsong. I love Hillsong. Hope, that's a great song. She says it helps me when I feel overwhelmed. Oh, that's a really. Now I'm gonna have to go and add all of these songs to a Spotify playlist. Trina, do you see any? Did you want to shout out to any tweets?
I've got Kales at Mosley, she's from Kale's Corner, said the song Better Than I from Joseph King of Dreams has been so influential in my life.
Oh, I love that movie.
Magazanne from Magazanne said she's inspired by so many musicians, but right now she's really inspired by Years and Years and Woodkid.
Thank you, guys. These tweets are all absolutely excellent. I love that everybody is participating, and don't forget to be using the hashtag UnBlemishedCover during the challenges. I think we have time for one more question, Trina, before we announce the next challenge.
Okay, we got some clues that were, or some clues. We got some questions that were submitted before. So do you want to start with like bookish questions or the ones we got that were non-bookish?
Bookish is great.
Okay, the ones about books. Angela from Coffee and Chapters had asked, which specific fairy tales inspired you?
So if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm absolutely obsessed with Beauty and the Beast. I just love all of the Beauty and the Beast retellings, and I really love the idea that true beauty is within. I just love that scene at the end of Disney's Beauty and the Beast when Belle says she loves the Beast. Spoiler alert! And he turns into a prince. I always get tingles and I cry every time. And then some other fairy tales that are inspiring to me: Rapunzel, Cinderella, pretty much the classics. And then, of course, Once Upon a Time, the TV show, has become a huge inspiration to me. I love all of the different twists that they have on the different fairy tales.
Yeah. Bookwoman had asked, how did you choose the names for your characters?
So that's a really, really great question. And I have a name book that I use, and I'm really into name meanings. I love finding names that have and hold a particular meaning. So I know that in her question, she had said that she finds it difficult to come up with character names. And honestly, just go online. There's lots of baby naming websites. You can go on there. You can look up names that start with whatever letter you want. You can look them up by meaning. You can look them up male or female. And honestly, it just took a lot of just kind of looking through name websites and the name book and kind of just messing around with spellings until I found something that sounded right to me.
Did you just pick names that you liked the sound of them, or were any of them like had hidden meanings? Like, did you search for a name that meant something specific?
Definitely the main character of my book, her name meaning, which is eluding me right now, of course, since we're live. When I first started writing this, I was really having a hard time naming my main character, and I found this name Eliana, which actually my husband had mentioned to me, and I looked it up, and I loved the meaning of it. And I think it's also a Hebrew name, which I thought was really, really cool. And so that, and then several of the other characters have names that mean something. Not all of the characters, but a lot of them have names that have meaning to me, or meaning from what the name book says.
Yeah. Hope from Hope Ortego, she asked a question that I really want to know also. And she asked, is there a love triangle in your book?
Is there? a love triangle.
You can't answer that.
I think love triangles get a bad rap a lot, and if anybody's watched me for any length of time, they know I love triangles. So that's all I'm going to say, Hope. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say I love triangles. I think they get a bad rap. So that's as far as I can answer that question.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's up to the reader. Like, do we see somebody as a love interest, or maybe it's up to us?
Yeah, you'll have to tell me when you read it, because I do realize that some love triangles are really, really irritating. And there's a lot of insta love going on and things like that. I will say I hate insta love. So there you go. I'll add that. I love triangles. I hate insta love. So do what you want with that answer.
I think any trope, tropes are tropes for a reason. Like, they have kind of stood the test of time and of what's popular in writing and books, but they can all be done really badly or be done really well. So I will look forward to finding out if your book has it and how I like it or don't like it, or I don't know, maybe later in the series, or I'm sure whatever you've written will be a really nice romance, because I know how much you love your love interests in books.
I do. So I hope everybody, I can say it's a romance. So I hope everybody enjoys what I've done with that. So I think that it's time to move on to the second challenge. Thank you everybody who tweeted for the first challenge. And if I didn't mention you, I'm still going to go through at the end of the show and look at all your tweets, because you guys are so awesome for participating in this. So the next challenge is the first clue for the cover. And the clue is purple! You guys know, if you watch my channel, that I love purple. It's my absolute favorite color, and it is also a color that carries meaning in the story. So is it any surprise that my cover is going to include purple? So what I would love for you guys to do is snap a picture of your favorite purple book cover and post it on Instagram. And bonus points if you make the picture a selfie. So a selfie of you with your favorite purple book cover. If you don't own any of your favorite purple book covers, if you own a purple book cover, or if you just post a photo of your favorite book cover, that's totally fine too. Don't forget to tag at Sara Ella Writes on Instagram. It's the same as Twitter, and use the hashtag unblemished cover. And I can't wait to see all of the purple book covers you guys post. I think that we can now move on to some more questions.
Okay, I've got a question on Twitter from Aoife at Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and she asked, when you're writing, do you ever get new book ideas that just pop into your head and cause a distraction?
Oh, absolutely, Aoife. That's a really great question. Absolutely. Just the other night, I was sitting there, and the ideas always come at the worst and most inconvenient times. I know a lot of writers say, put a notebook and pen by your bed. And of course, I have my iPod, so I have my notes on my iPod. But sometimes you're just so tired, you do not want to get up to take a note. But the other night, I had this idea that I was like, oh, that could be a really great duology. And I thought, okay, I'll write it down in the morning. I will remember what it is. And then I didn't remember what it was. So, yes, I get lots of distractions that way. And sometimes, especially if I'm reading or really into a TV show or a movie, sometimes that can be distracting. Like I was watching the Scorch Trials the other week, and anyway, there's all this stuff going on with a cure and sickness and all this stuff. And I'm like, I should write a book about a sickness and an apocalypse. And of course, that's like, what are you doing, Sara Ella? You have 2 more books to write in this series. So definitely, I tend to get distracted, especially by good writing from other authors.
I'm looking.
I wasn't
prepared. Patty from I Smell Books had submitted a question earlier, and she asked, right now, is it just playing the waiting game for the book to release, or are you still editing or making changes, working on the book in some way, or is it just like waiting and marketing?
So actually my book is with my line editor right now, and I will be receiving my line edited manuscript back on Monday. She just emailed me today, said she's almost done and that it was in really good shape so that the line edits would be light, so I'm super excited about that. And then after that, after I get those line edits back and I fix everything and then we send it back to my editor, Becky, I'm not sure if there's any more going on in the editing process after that. I do have my second manuscript for the second book in the series due in June. So basically everything is overlapping now and I'm always going to be on a deadline. So while I'm marketing Unblemished over the summer, I will be going through edits for the second book. So even if I'm not working on Unblemished particularly, I will still be writing and working on the story as a whole.
I think that answers another question we had from April Sarah, who had asked, I know you're working on this one, but are you writing anything else as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, April. And Patty, thank you for your question. Thank you guys all so much for your questions. I have some kind of blurbs for some other books in the works that I had to submit to my agent like way back when he signed me. He was like, okay, so just shoot me some of what your other ideas are. And I wrote the first chapter for another book. And since then, I have not touched it because I signed my contract right after that, and it's just been a whirlwind ever since then. So I really don't have the time or the brain power to focus on any other stories right now.
Yeah. We've got two questions that are kind of about the release, so I want to ask them together, but Caitlin from Book Chats had asked, do you know if you will be partnering with any bookstore that we can pre-order from to get a signed copy? And also Gabriel Jones asked, do you already have a book tour planned, and do you know where that will be going?
Okay, so I don't know anything yet about partnering with a bookstore at all. I know that it will be available at all major bookstores, at Barnes & Noble. Not sure about Walmart, but I know Walmart sometimes picks up books after an author has become more well-known. I know Mary Weber just had her Storm Siren, the last book in her Storm Siren trilogy, Siren Song, picked up by Walmart, and that's the third book in her trilogy. She's also with my same publisher. So I don't know about partnering. As far as book tours go, my publisher, I just talked to our new marketing director, Paul, the other day, and they are actually looking at sending me to some bigger events in the future. I don't know what those events are, and so I can't say, yes, I will be at this event at this time, but they're hoping to try to send me to those events to get me in front of a larger group of readers all at one place. So you guys know all the big events, ALA, BookCon, Y'all Fest, things like that. They're going to look into trying to getting me to some of those. So hopefully I'll get to meet some of you guys in the future. But not anything on book tours as I know of yet, aside from like locally, I'll be talking to bookstores and things here in my state.
You've got a bunch of purple book covers being posted. You got some on Twitter.
I see Hopes. You guys see Hopes? Look at how cute she is. Oh my goodness. That was the first thing that popped up when I opened Instagram, her face. I love the purple book cover for The Crown. I'm going to show you one of mine right now. This is actually one of my favorite purple book covers, and it's another Kara Cass book, Happily Ever After, and I love that inside you have like the map, and it's all in purple.
Oh, that's a really pretty map.
And Trina loves maps, so Trina, I'm surprised that you...
I love the maps for dystopian books because you don't see those very often, and I just think it helps because it's based on the real world, and I want to see how the real world changed. I've got a book cover from Taylor at Taylor Reads. I don't know if you guys can see it, but she's got Winter and Their Fractured Light. And Their Fractured Light is definitely one of my favorite purple book covers. I love the covers of all of those books in that series. They're just like beautiful people floating in space, wearing pretty clothes.
I'm going to look up some more here because I want to see all of your beautiful book covers that you guys posted here on Instagram. Another of my favorite purple book covers is actually a book that I haven't read, and that's this beautiful Creatures paperback. I found this, I think I got this on Book Outlet, and I've been told by my cousin Anne has been telling me, you need to read Beautiful Creatures, and I still haven't read it, but the purple book cover sold me. I was like, oh, that's a purple book cover, I need to get that book. So let's see here. Ooh, we have Miss Anna Black, and she also loves the book cover for Happily Ever After by Kier Cass. Yay! Awesome. We have, oh look, and who did you mention before, Trina? Did you mention Taylor? Okay. So I have Maggers Ann here, and she is such a sweetheart. I just adore Maggie's channel, and her book cover is Jane Unwrapped. Is that? I haven't heard of that one before. Now I'm going to have to go look it up on Goodreads. That's a pretty cover, though. Trina, what are some of your other favorite purple book covers? I was going to screen share them, but we all know that I can't screen share anything right now.
Always got to be technical problems, or else it wouldn't be YouTube.
Right.
It wouldn't be me on YouTube, at least, because I always have problems. I really love the cover for Reign of Shadows, and it's kind of like a bluish purple, but it's so beautiful, and I love it more than just the color, because I love that it's natural photography or natural elements. Like, I don't know if it's an actual picture or if they digitally did all that, but I love natural looks like that and not just a completely digital cover. It's really pretty to me. I love it. And it captures the feeling of that world, like the dark, and I don't know, it just looks really beautiful.
I really, really love that cover, and actually because of you, I picked that book up from Barnes & Noble the other day.
Yay!
So
it's a really good book.
Another book that I can and not finish right away. Denise Dressbling also posted. Denise is another writer, and she's super funny, so you should check out her channel. She posted the cover of Daughter of the Forest, and I think that, is that a Swan Lake retelling? I can't remember. Casey from Basket Casey Reads would know, because I know that she talks about that book all the time. Trina, I think we have time for a few more questions, unless you had more purple book covers. I have two more. I just wanted to show you guys that were on my shelf. So I love the Dune series, and it doesn't really, you can kind of tell it's purple-ish up here. And Shades of Dune is the third book in the series, and so I love that that is very purpley. And then I also have Angel Eyes by Shannon Daymore, and the cover isn't totally purple, but this is Brielle here on the front, and she has a purple sweater on. And of course I love purple, so anything purple on a cover draws my eye.
You've got several people excited about your future book tour or events that you might be sent to. They want you to go to Y'all Fest, and hope that you'll go to North Carolina or Louisiana, Baton Rouge, or New Orleans. So a lot of people really are looking forward to wherever you'll be on tour. Yay! I definitely can make it. We can meet up in real life. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun.
I have a question, and I can't find it. These two go hand in hand. I've got Angela from Coffee in Chapters previously asked, how did you get a job at Disney as a Disney character actor? And over on the YouTube chat, Elizabeth Van Tassel had asked, when you were a Disney princess, did you sing? And what was your favorite song to sing?
So to answer Angela's question, hi Angela. If you go online and you Google Disney auditions, There is actually a page that will take you and it will show you, and it's not just for Disneyland. You can choose to modify it and say, oh, I just want auditions for Disney World, or I just want auditions for Disneyland. But there are auditions for everything, for the cruise ship, Hong Kong, for Disneyland Paris, and they show not only when the character auditions are, but they'll show that what's called talent. So that's like if you go to Disneyland, there's the Disneyland band. They actually have auditions for that. They have auditions for, there are musical shows, which brings me to Elizabeth's question. No, I did not sing, and probably everybody who ever saw me as a Disney character is grateful for that. I'm definitely not somebody who I think could be up there and be singing. I can totally lip sync it out, but I wouldn't think that I would get picked for that. The audition process is, you know, if you've ever auditioned for any show or anything before, it's pretty similar. You have to dance, you have to show that you're animated and move around, and then they cut people each round, and then as you make it to the final round, like when I was Alice and Wendy, as I got to the final round, I actually had to talk in a British accent and put on the wig and the makeup and the costume so that they could look and make sure that I looked the part. But it's really, I mean, the information is out there for anybody who's interested in auditioning to be a Disney character. Just go on Disney auditions.
There are questions about Disney that I really want to get to, but let's do the third challenge before we get into that so people can have fun.
That's perfect. Trina, thank you so much for helping me out with this, because I feel like you being here is actually helping me to not be so awkward.
It's easier to talk to someone than just talk at an inanimate object or talk to yourself, so I understand.
That's absolutely true. So challenge number 3 is clue number 2. So clue number 1 was purple. So we know there's purple in the cover. Clue number 2, New York. Unblemished is an urban fantasy set partly in New York City, which is a city I've always dreamed of visiting and have never had the opportunity to do that. So maybe someday I'll get to go to a book event in New York. I would love for you to tweet to Sara Ella Writes with the hashtag Unblemished Cover the title of your favorite book, movie, or TV show set in New York City. And if you want to tell me why you love that book, movie, or TV show set in New York, you can. I love New York, so I can't wait to see what New York bookish movies and TV shows you guys love. And I think that now that we have done the third challenge, we are ready for a few more questions.
Okay, those Disney questions we got. Okay, Hope Ortego asked, which Disney princess would be your main protagonist's BFF?
Okay, so I think that my main character definitely could use a best friend who is going to push her. And so I really think that Merida from Brave, which is actually not my favorite Disney movie, but especially after watching Merida on Once Upon a Time, I think that they could totally be BFFs. I think that Merida could definitely push my main character to be her best, and I think they would get along great.
That's a good description of Merida. I think she would be a good friend. She definitely would push anyone to be brave and to be their best. And we've got 2 questions for both of us. And Kayla Rain wants to know from both of us, who is our favorite Disney character?
Belle. Absolutely Belle.
Mine is Ariel from The Little Mermaid. I have a hard time explaining why, but I just am obsessed with mermaids, and I always have been. And I don't know, I just really love Ariel. And I like her story, and I like her beautiful flowing red hair. So,
which is funny because a lot of the times you're really disappointed in Little Mermaid retellings.
I guess it's because I like that story so much that it's kind of hard for them to like live up to my standards, which I'm not the rule for any standards, but I guess I have so
Oh
many
no.
expectations for them.
Oh, I totally understand that. There's lots of Beauty and the Beast retellings that I've read that I'm like, this isn't Beauty and the Beast. So I can totally relate to that because I think especially having experience to the Disney movie, at least that was my first experience with Belle, and I'm sure I know that the Disney movie The Little Mermaid was one of your earliest experiences as a child.
That was one of
Having
the
that.
first movies I can ever remember seeing in a theater, so it's probably just a nostalgic thing for me too.
Right, right. And so expecting that and wanting that same feeling again, and then having a retelling not live up to that, I totally understand and relate to that.
And Jordan asked a question for both of us. She's from the channel The Jordan Journals, and she asked us if you could pick one male lead and one female lead from different Disney movies to be a couple, who would you pick and why? And she is getting me back for the question I asked her in her Q&A about crossing couples over in different books. And thanks a lot, Jordan. It's hard.
So I am glad that Jordan that you asked this ahead of time because I really had to think about this because especially with not being able to see like seeing these characters to get like Rapunzel and Flynn. I cannot imagine Rapunzel and Flynn with anybody else. So I tried to find two characters that didn't actually have a love interest, and I think that they would make a great match. And I looked up their ages just so I would know that they're not too far apart in age. I would choose Merida from Brave, and she's 16, and then Hero, who's actually 14 in the movie Big Hero 6, so not too big of an age difference. Hero from Big Hero 6, because I think that not only are they both awesome and super strong characters, but they also have their quirks and their oddities and a lot of growing to do still as younger characters. So I think I would pair those two together.
Well, I'm going to break your heart because I know you just said you don't want to picture Rapunzel and Flynn with anybody else, and those are a couple that I chose to break up. Like, I totally went the couples route and broke up some couples. But I think I would like to see, in my headcanon, I would like to see Aladdin fly in on his magic carpet up to Rapunzel's tower and take her away singing, "I will show you the world," because she's been locked up forever, and he could show her the entire world. And he's really goofy. He's got the same kind of vibe as Flynn. So I think that they would get along, and I don't know. I think I could really see it.
I can forgive you for breaking up Rapunzel and Flynn for Aladdin because I do like Aladdin. And what's really funny is I don't know if anybody's been watching Fuller House if they grew up in the 90s like me, but Steve from the original Full House, he came on and he walks in and I told my daughter, I was like, okay, close your eyes. Do you know whose voice that is? And she's like, no. I'm like, that's Aladdin's voice. So I do love Aladdin. I think we have time for maybe a couple. If there are any more questions, we have time for a couple more before we look at some of these New York City tweets.
Let's see. Here is a good one that has gone down. Okay, here it is. It's about New York because that's what this topic was. I thought it would be good to ask this one. It was from Fangirl Creation, and she asked, how was it writing a book set in New York City without actually being there or having visited it, and what helped you to write about it?
That's such a great question. You know, as writers, we're told a lot to write what you know, write what you're familiar with. So originally my book was set in Phoenix because I have lived in Phoenix previously. And so I thought, okay, I know Phoenix really well. I don't have to do any research. I know the street names. I know where stuff is. And as I got going, I was super bored because I hate Phoenix. I don't like the desert, and I moved away from there specifically because I don't like Phoenix. And so I thought, well, wait, I'm supposed to write what I know. So I decided, well, I want to go to New York City, so I'm going to just start writing about it, even though I know that so much stuff is written, so many films, everything is about New York City. I didn't care. I wanted to research it. And so I just started getting online. Pinterest is a great tool. Started looking at pictures, starting looking up maps. Google Street View is awesome because I actually got to go on Google Street View and explore from the Street View my main character's neighborhood of the Upper West Side. Using Google Street View, I could walk down that street and see, oh, well, there's construction right there, or there's a lot of traffic on this road. There's a street light right there. There's a Starbucks on the corner. All of those things that wouldn't maybe have been possible for an author, 10, 15, 20 years ago, is right there at my fingertips. And I had fun researching it. And so that's what really the story came alive for me as I researched New York. And of course, I'm sure there will be things about it that aren't completely accurate just because I'm not from there. But I have consulted with New Yorkers, people who have either lived there or live there now, asking them, okay, is this authentic? Is this an authentic description of the subway or just your typical New York City things that you would expect to see? And they would say, no, this isn't what it's like. This is what it's like. So that is just kind of the all-encompassing about researching it. It's not the same probably as going there, but it's probably as close as a person can get.
Do you want to talk about our favorite book set in New York now?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was wondering if there was another question. So I started reading Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and this is just the jacket because the book is downstairs. I don't like to read books with the jackets on them. And this one actually starts off in New York City, which I really loved, which I felt was similar to mine because mine starts in New York City. And then I'm probably going to get grief for this because I know people said that a lot of people say they didn't like the movie Beastly, but I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies. I'm such a cheeseball. And then, of course, the book, which is completely different. Not completely, but it's very different from the movie. I love both of these, and I love that both of them are set in New York, and I love that you have the fantasy fairy tale going on in a contemporary world, kind of like what you have with the Mortal Instruments. And then I saw somebody tweeted, let me see who it was, Dana Black tweeted that she loves You've Got Mail. And Dana, that is actually one of my all-time favorite movies. I absolutely love this movie. You're right, you can't get any better than bookstores and New York City and romance. You just can't get any better than that. Trina, what are some of your favorites?
I couldn't think of too many books set in New York that stood out to me because I feel like a lot of books are set in New York and it just kind of gets lost in that big city feel. But the one that I wanted to mention actually was also mentioned by someone on Twitter, by April Sarah, and she said The Diviners by Libba Bray. I really loved that book and that setting, and it's like the 1920s in New York, and she really captured the time period and also the big city time, historical feeling. So that was going to be one of my answers. I totally agree with that. And Nadine Brands had said she's a sucker for the movie Enchanted. I love that movie.
Me too.
I love seeing all the cartoons pop out into real world New York. It's a really awesome movie.
I really, really love Enchanted. I love Patrick Dempsey and is it Amy Adams who's in that. And I love how they just break out into song in Central Park. That's the best scene ever. And a couple of my favorite TV shows set in New York City would be Smash. I don't know if you guys remember that show. It only went on for 2 seasons, which was such a bummer. But it was about being on Broadway in New York City and trying to make it as a Broadway star. And then, of course, Friends. I don't think we could talk about New York without talking about Friends. And let's see some of these tweets. Janelle Leonard says, I love the movie Sleepless in Seattle. Half of it takes place in New York City, and that is true. I love the end of that movie, especially. Such a sweet, sweet story. And let's see. Nadine says she's also a sucker for the movie Enchanted, and she adores You've Got Mail. So is that who you mentioned before? Was Nadine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she loves all of the same things that we love. Winter's Tale by Mark Halperin Abbey from Abbey Reed says, absolutely gorgeous writing. That's a movie too, isn't it? Winter's Tale.
I think it was just made into a movie, but I don't really know. There was a movie that came out and I was like, is that based on a book? And then I got 2 different results whenever I looked it up, but that was a long time ago, so don't quote me on that. Is there a fourth challenge?
There is not a fourth challenge. Kristen will be sending me the giveaway winners here in a minute. I was just looking at a few more of these tweets. Oh, Steve from the Lawn Gnome says Men in Black. It captures tons of landmarks and it puts Queens on the map. Laugh out loud. Men in Black. That's such an old movie. I remember my dad used to watch that movie over and over and over. And then Denise Dressblein says City of Bones for sure, and that's one of your favorite series, Trina.
No.
No? Oh, maybe not.
It's like an all-time favorite, like when I look at it alone, but I really love the infernal devices and the way that they interlock together. Do you want to end up with a few questions before the cover reveal?
Yeah, let's do a few more questions. Kristen will be sending me the winners here just any second. And then I will do the cover reveal, you guys, that you've been waiting for. So let's just do a couple more questions.
So I had one question. I told you it was going to be a hard question, so don't hurt me. But my question for you is kiss, marry, or kill between the love interest in your book, or Warner from Shatter Me, or Killian from Once Upon a Time.
Oh no, this is the hardest question ever in the world to ask or to answer. Okay. Yeah, Trina warned me that this would be a difficult question, and she didn't tell me beforehand. So you guys are getting my initial reaction to this. So kiss, marry, or kill. If you guys don't know what kiss, marry, or kill is, it's a game on BookTube, and I have to pick one character to kiss, one character to marry, and one character to kill.
And they're like all of her favorite love interest, plus the one from her book. So
yes, okay. So I don't know how to answer this. Okay, so okay, first I have to pick the hardest one. Who am I gonna kill? Who am I gonna kill?
who do you love the least?
Who do I love the least? That's so difficult. I'm totally embarrassing myself because I'm totally just, anything I say I feel like is gonna get me in trouble, because if I say that I'll kill my main love interest in my book, you guys will be like, no, what are you, don't even like your love interest, except for you guys don't know everything about my main love interest that I know. So yeah, I won't say anything more about that. Let's see. Okay, so I think I'm definitely going to kiss Warner, because I don't know that I would marry him. Sorry, Warner, I love you so much, but I'm not sure that I would be willing to marry him. And then kill Killian. Oh my gosh, Trina, this is like, so I think I'm going to marry, I think I'm going to marry my main love interest. And okay, so listen, I'm not saying I want Killian to die, but I think that if I kill Killian, it's okay, because somebody will find a way to bring him back. Emma will find a way to bring him back, so he's not really gonna die. So if I kill Killian, he won't really die. And to all those Once Upon a Time fans out there, you guys know I absolutely love Killian, but I think of all of those three characters, if I killed him, he would be the one who could come back.
Yeah, that show has it's not a spoiler for the show, but the promos in it are hinting at, they have like an underworld in the world of that show. So even if you kill him, he still exists somewhere, and I guess maybe those characters can come back. So don't feel bad about it.
So then he can come back, and they all live. So there.
Everyone lives happily ever after. I've got two questions in the YouTube Q&A that I really liked, and they kind of tie in to your book. So I think it would be a great way to kind of end the live show. Do we have time for two more questions?
Yes, I think everybody, yes, I do. I think we're good.
Okay, Maggers Ann said, can you use 3 words to describe Unblemished?
Okay. Beauty. Um, Beauty. Fairy tale. I guess that's 2 words. Fairy tale-ish. It's not a fairy tale retelling. Fairy tale. Beauty, fairy tale-ish, and kisses.
Ooh, okay.
So there. I hope that describes it enough for you to
Are there a lot
want
of kissing scenes in this book?
No. I don't know, maybe. You'll have to find out. You're trying to get me to give spoilers. No. The worst person. I know you're not, but I'm the worst secret keeper in the world. So I have to try to keep my mouth shut about it.
And the other question that I think is perfect to end on is, what was your favorite part of the cover design process? And that was asked by Caitlin from Book Chats.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the names of the winners over here. What was something about the cover design process?
What was your favorite part of the cover design process?
So I loved that I just kind of got to let them know up front what book covers I liked, what colors I like, what fonts I liked, and what colors I didn't like, and things like that. I got to show them some YA covers that I absolutely adore. And then I loved that I love that I have a voice. My publisher is so amazing, and I can't speak for all authors or all publishing houses, but my publisher really lets me have a voice. Not that they just let me do or say whatever I want, but when I saw the initial design for my cover, I said, oh, I would like to change these couple things, and my editor agreed, and they did it. So I loved that I was able to have a voice and a say in what my vision was for that. And then, of course, just finally seeing the cover and the artistic interpretation of my book was just beyond any other experience I've ever had during this process. So I absolutely loved that. That's a great question. Is that the last question? Okay, so I think I'm going to announce the winners of the challenge first, and then I'm going to reveal the cover of Unblemished. So I have here, these winners were all randomly chosen. Thank you so much to Kristen for helping me moderate this giveaway. I couldn't have done it without you. So the winner for challenge number 1 is McKaylee Osley at Mosley, Kale's Corner. If you guys don't know her channel, you should check her out. You are the first winner. You are the winner of Challenge 1, which was the music challenge. So yay, Kale!
Congratulations!
And all of the winners will be receiving, like I said at the beginning, if you are just tuning in, all of the winners will be receiving a signed, numbered, special edition poster of Unblemished, which I do not have here to show you today, but are going to be really cool, and I'm really excited about them. The second winner of the second challenge, which was the purple challenge, is Biblio Jessie. Yay, Biblio Jessie! And then we have the third winner of the third challenge, which was the New York City challenge, is, I'm going to totally say your name wrong. It's Ilse, Ilse Diomera, and it's at Ilse's Books. I'm totally botching your Twitter handle, but I have it written down right here, so I know who you are. Congratulations, you are the third winner. And winner number 4, the other 2 random winners, because I have 5 posters to give away. We have Sierra Faith at Sierra Faith 327. And the last and final winner of the poster is Hope Ortego. Yay, Hope! I'm so excited for you guys. I cannot wait to sign these posters and get them out to you guys. And I will be posting pictures on Instagram for when I'm signing those posters, so you guys can have a sneak peek at those. And now I wish I could screen share it with you guys, but I will post it to Twitter right after it goes, right after I share it with you guys. I'm going to share the cover of Unblemished with you guys here on my iPod. Unless, Trina, did we figure out if you're able to screen share it? I don't know.
I can try, but it might kick me off too.
Oh, I don't want you to get kicked off.
Well, do you want me to?
What browser are you using?
Chrome also.
Okay, so we don't want to have any kind of weird stuff since it's already been kicking me off. So I'm just going to show you guys here on my iPod, and I don't know why it's kind of bleeding off of the screen, but you guys will get the basic picture. And again, I will show this on Twitter. You guys ready? Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Here is the cover for Unblemished, and I'm really sorry if there's a glare on that. I'm sorry I can't screen share it. We're having technical difficulties. I'm going to post this to Twitter within the next 10 minutes so you guys can get a better look at it. But it is purple. We've got some stuff going on my main character's face up at the top, and then down here you will be able to see that we have the Empire State Building kind of in a misty forest. So there's the New York part for you guys. I will be posting this so everybody can see it. Thank you to everybody who participated in the challenges, who tweeted. I see I have a million notifications on Twitter. I can't wait to go through all of those and respond to you guys and properly look at everybody's tweets and Instagram posts. And thank you guys all properly. Thank you to Trina. Thank you, Trina, so much for participating and helping me out with the show.
No problem.
And then Kristen, thank you for moderating the giveaway. Thanks to my team at Thomas Nelson HarperCollins for working so hard on this project with me. I would like to remind everybody that if you want to read Unblemished, please add it to your Goodreads to read list, and you can also vote for it on Listopia. There are lots of YA lists, YA debuts of 2016, anticipated of 2016, that you could vote for it. And then pre-orders, my publisher says pre-orders will be available coming in early spring. And so if you follow me on Twitter at Sara Ella Writes, you'll be able to see the announcement for that. I will also be announcing it on my channel at Sara Ella. And any questions that I haven't answered today that were submitted here in the comments or beforehand or on Twitter, I will be answering those in a separate Q&A sometime in March. And so I just want to encourage everybody, please subscribe to Trina's channel at Between Chapters because she is awesome. You guys will love her videos. She's super creative. And I think that is the end of the show. So we're going to
Sarah, do you want me to tweet it right now, or do you want to be the first person to tweet it?
I think I'll tweet it first.
Okay. I'll wait for you. I've got it. I've got it ready. I just didn't want to jump the gun on it for you. I want to remind everybody too that, yeah, like you said, if we didn't get to a question, you'll be doing more of a Q&A on your channel. But we had a lot of questions about the publishing process or the writing process, and I want to remind everybody that you have an amazing segment on your channel called Pass the Pages. So anyone that is an author or an aspiring author would get a lot of information about the whole publishing process if they watch those. So you guys don't forget to check that out on Sara Ella's channel.
Thank you, Trina. That is a really, that's really kind. And yes, if anybody does have questions, just look up that playlist, Pass the Pages. So now we're going to sign off. I'm going to say happy reading, and Trina is going to say...
I normally say I see you in the comments, but I don't know. I'll see you guys on Twitter.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.